Diamond status on Carnival now costs $33,000. Not 200 days at sea, $33,000 in a 2-year window. And that is the biggest change Carnival has made to loyalty in decades. This change goes live September 1st, 2026, and it flips the entire program from rewarding you for days to rewarding you for dollars. This means that someone who has never set foot on a Carnival ship could walk onto their very first cruise, outranking people who spent years, if not decades, earning their platinum or diamond status. My name is Ruben. I have spent over 200 days sailing on Carnival to earn the highest status of diamond. I sail exclusively out of Long Beach on the Panorama, Frenzy, and Radiance. These ships are my second home, and even Carnival crew watch my videos. So today, I am breaking down the whole new program, the stars, the points, the tiers, and what actually got better as well as what got worse. And the 2 cheat codes that let you bend everything in your favor. And stay tuned to the end because my honest opinion of all this is probably not what you are expecting. Let's get into it. For as long as most of us have been cruising, Carnival's loyalty program worked one way. It was called VIFP, for Very Important Fun Person. And the only thing that mattered was your sailing days, not dollars spent, not what cabin you booked. Days. Sail 2 days and you're red, 25 days and you're gold, 75 days and you are platinum. 200? That's diamond, baby. That was the whole machine. And there was something beautiful about that. A family sailing on an interior cabin on a 4-day Ensenada run earned exactly the same as that person who was in a suite drinking their way through a Cheers package who ate on chef's table every day. Time on a Carnival ship was the only currency, and it treated everybody the same. But that is actually what no one is talking about that has now changed for the better. You earn the same status whether you spent 4 days in a $400 interior or 5 figures in the biggest and best suite eating chef's table every night. So whatever your view of the old system, it's going away September 1st, 2026. Here is the single sentence that explains everything else in this video. Carnival is switching from rewarding your days to rewarding your dollars. The new program runs on 2 separate things, and this is where most people start getting confused. So stay with me. There are stars and there are points. They are not the same, and they do not do the same thing. Stars are your status currency. Stars are what move you up through the tiers and decide whether you're at the bottom or the top. This analogy might help. You climb status. To get higher, you need to look up to the stars. The more stars you earn, the higher you climb. Regardless of status, you also earn points, and this is your spending currency. Points are what you cash in for actual stuff. Onboard credit, drinks, casino play, that kind of thing. Points do not move you up in a tier. No matter how many points you earn, your status doesn't change. 2 currencies, 2 different jobs. Stars for status, points for perks. Say that out loud 3 times. Now, here's the part that Carnival is not going to put in a press release. Their system is rigged. And I mean that in the best way possible. Because once you understand how the machine works, you can absolutely bend it to your will. And I'm going to show you 2 specific ways to do that later in this video. And the second reason is why and how someone could hold diamond status before they ever set foot on a Carnival ship. So let's talk about levels. Carnival Rewards has 4 tiers. Well, 4.5, and I'll explain that. At the bottom, you have red. Red is where you land the second you sign up. You don't ever need to go on a cruise. You don't need to spend $1. You just need to exist and enroll. It's like being a Christian. And if you were a blue card before, you go straight to red. Then you climb to gold, then platinum, then diamond at the very top. So why 4.5? Because there is still a blue card that isn't technically part of the Carnival Rewards ecosystem. Now, I've got a few conspiracy theories to explain what this card is, so grab your tinfoil hat while I explain what I think the blue card will be for. Now, this isn't verified by Carnival and is just my opinion. So, I think Carnival will keep these blue cards for people who decide that they do not want to enroll in the Carnival Rewards program. Carnival has released official photos of a blue card, but none of the official rewards information or FAQs talk about a blue card status, which totally makes sense to me because everyone needs to have a silent sign card. What do you do for people who refuse to enroll? Just give them a blue card, which if you notice has no reference to Carnival Rewards like the other cards. Oh, and while we're at it, the Carnival Rewards Sail and Sign cards got a full-on redesign from this to this. But I want you to know and think about that. Down in the comments, tell me what you think about my blue card theory and what do you think about the new card redesign. Now here is something that I think is genuinely good. And if you know me, I prefer looking for the positives and not the negatives, even though I will share both with you. The old system was all or nothing. You ground your way up from red to gold to platinum and get absolutely nothing for those 50 days in between. You either hit your number or you didn't. And like I mentioned earlier, you earn the same number of days sailing in an interior as you do in a suite. Now, I love how there are so many creative people out there who find the most creative things to complain about and how the new system is unfair. Well, it's also not fair to suite guests who pay way more than people in an interior for the same number of sailing days. It's also not fair to people with casino comps who get free cruises who earn their status basically for nothing. And it's also not fair for solo cruisers like me who pay the solo occupancy tax and earn the same number of days as everyone else. To me, the new rewards program fixes a lot of these things. The new program also adds milestone perks. And here's the part that I really like. Milestones are not tied to your tier and they're not tied to your spending at all. They still run on days sailed. And this is completely separate from the whole stars and points machine. So the days that you have already put still count for something. And every single one of them still absolutely will count moving forward. You do not have to reach the next status level to get rewarded for your journey and your climb. These little unlocks spread out so the middle of the journey stops feeling like dead air. And instead of these perks being unlocked by sailing count, it's unlocked by sailing days, which is another way of balancing the playing field. Because 10 14-day journey cruises is way more money and way different than 10 3-day party cruises. That's 140 days versus 30 days, earned the same under the old system. Now, that's unfair. Here is another case where the redesign levels the playing field and makes things more fair across the board. Here's a chart of the special recognition and milestone perks that you get. 50 days sailed, 5,000 reward points, special sail and sign card. 100 days sailed, 10,000 rewards points, onboard recognition, special sail and sign card, a commemorative coin, and milestone onboard credit. 500 days sailed, everything plus commemorative keepsake and a gift. How do you actually earn stars and points? Well, the base rate is the foundation of everything. For every eligible dollar you spend with Carnival, you get 3 stars and 3 points. Hey, Macarena. All right. Eligible spend is broader and more complicated. Your cruise fare counts. Your onboard spending counts. Drinks, specialty dining, spa, shops, and excursions all bought through Carnival. Gratuities also count, which totally surprised me. Carnival Vacation Club purchases also count. What does not count are port fees and taxes. Then there's the casino, and this is where things get interesting. Casino play feeds both buckets, and this is a detail that some people are going to miss. You get 1 star for every casino point you earn, and 1 point for every casino point you have left at the end of this sailing. Earn versus remaining. Two different words doing two different jobs. So if you're someone who spends real time in the casino, you now have a second faucet feeding the same bucket. Now, if you take casino points and cash them in for a comp, like a drink package or a dinner, those points will not transfer and turn into Carnival Rewards points because they are basically the same thing. You're just using them earlier upstream. Now, the Carnival Rewards Mastercard, and this is the big one. This card earns at a much different and higher rate than everything else. The card adds 3 points and 1 star on top of the base rate, which means that you get 4 stars and 6 points for every dollar you spend. This includes grocery stores, restaurants, 1 star, 2 points for every dollar you spend. And on absolutely everything else you buy, it is 1 star and 1 point per dollar. Every gas fill up, every Target run, every streaming subscription. And I need you to catch what I just said because this is the entire ballgame. That card earns stars on everything, not just points, stars, which means that your groceries will help you improve your Carnival status. So hold that thought because this is cheat code number 1. One note on this card. Unfortunately, it is US residents only. So if you are watching from Canada or Australia, unfortunately, this won't work for you. And I am so sorry because this is the single most powerful lever in the entire program. Now, Carnival has said that they are in active discussions with banks across the world, so it may not be closed forever. Let me know if you hear something about this. Now, here is a huge detail I haven't heard anyone else talk about. The stars and points come from your cruise fare are split evenly across all of the guests in your stateroom. Now, I will get into who this hurts later, but for now, here's who it helps. If you sail solo, there is nobody to split it with. Everything is yours, stars and points. So solo cruisers essentially earn double what someone sharing a cabin earns, which is a rare win for solo cruisers in any loyalty program, especially after years of paying double for that solo occupancy tax. I'm totally gonna take it. Now, there is also a credit card anniversary bonus that hits around $2,000 in spend in your card year, and you pick up a bunch of bonus points. Your old fun points automatically convert into the new system. So everything that you've already saved up stays there. And points expire after a period of inactivity, which I'm gonna come back to in a minute because it is a pretty sneaky thing. Now, stars do not just pile up forever. There's a clock. Your status gets calculated on what Carnival calls the status earning window. And this is a detail that almost everyone is getting wrong. It is not a rolling window that starts when you enroll. It is a fixed window with the same dates for everyone. The window first opens September 1st, 2026, and it goes through December 31st, 2028. The next window is from January 1st, 2029 through December 31st, 2030. So if you sign up in the middle of a window, you get whatever is left in that window. If you enroll in June 2028, then you only have 7 months to earn your status. Then you will enjoy that status for the following 2-year window. 2 to earn, 2 to enjoy. If you hit a tier partway through the earning window, you get bumped up immediately and you keep it for the rest of that entire window and the next window. So some of that can stretch into 3-4 years. Now at the end of each window, your stars reset to 0. Not expire, reset. Everyone starts the next window at the same time. That is the status clock. Now, there is a completely different clock on your points, and that one is another gotcha. More on that in a minute. The answer to the question that everyone clicked in here for. What does each tier cost in real money? Carnival publishes the thresholds in stars, so let's start there. Gold starts at 10,000 stars. Platinum is 50,000 stars. And diamond, the top of the mountain, well, that's 100,000 stars. So let's work backward from the base rate. 3 stars for every dollar. That puts gold at $3,333 of spend. Platinum at 16,667, and Diamond at $33,333. $33,000 inside one earning window, or about $17,000 a year to earn Diamond. Let that sit for a second, because under the old system, Diamond took 200 days of sailing. And I hit that. I actually earned that pretty quickly, going from Gold to Diamond in 4 months, which is pretty unheard of. But most people spend years or decades earning those 200 days. Now, the new math says that you need to spend the equivalent of a new small car to earn this status. And before I go further, one piece of genuinely great news that got buried. If you earn VIFP Diamond by August 31st, 2026, your Diamond status is permanent. For life. Diamond for life. You do not need to requalify, things do not reset, and it doesn't matter what you spend. Carnival extended Diamond status to life for everyone before the switch. So this whole conversation about what Diamond costs, it's only for people who have to earn it from here. Those of us who already have it, we're good forever. But here's where the rigging comes in, and here are the 2 cheat codes. Cheat code number 1, use the Carnival Mastercard on your everyday spending. And I want to be really precise here, because I did this math sitting down with a Carnival Rewards ambassador. Oh, and by the way, this is not a sponsored video. I don't get any money if you sign up for a Carnival Rewards Mastercard. But if you know someone who works there, I'd love to get some money for it. You are not trying to spend $33,000 just on Carnival. You are trying to accumulate stars. And we already know the exact number. Gold is 10,000, Platinum is 50, and Diamond is 100,000. Now, that credit card earns 1 star for every dollar you spend. So if you run $17,000 a year of normal life through it, from groceries, gas, bills you already pay, during that earning window, that is already 34,000 stars. And you have not booked a single cruise. That's gold 3 times over for money that you were spending anyway. Now, if you throw Carnival purchases onto that same card, that earns 4 stars for every dollar. From 34,000 stars, you only need 16,000 more to hit Platinum. At 4 stars per dollar, that is $4,000 of Carnival spend across an entire 2-year window. $2,000 a year. That's like 1 cruise. And if you want Diamond from a standing start with 0 sea days, you need only about $16,500 on Carnival spend across that window on that card. Call it a couple, that's like 2 cruises a year for a family, which sounds like a lot until you remember the alternative was 200 days at sea. Someone do the math on that for me. That is easily how someone with 0 days at sea could walk onto their first Carnival cruise with a Diamond card. And I think that is one of the biggest loopholes and cheat codes for those of you who might only sail once a year and had no chance of earning VIP status like Platinum or Diamond. Cheat code number 2, the casino. And I'm being careful here. The pieces we know about for sure are this. Casino play earns you stars directly. 1 star per casino point earned. Your onboard spend earns stars at the base rate, 1 for 1. Add your Carnival Mastercard on top of that. So on paper, funding your casino play through your credit card looks like 3 earnings for $1 spent. It's a triple dip. But I have not confirmed this, and I'm not going to tell you it works until I've done it myself. Carnival has not published how much casino buy-in interacts with folio spend and any of the fine print. And this is exactly where a triple dip could be real or just could collapse into a double. Either way, I'm going to test it in September, and I will report back to you with the actual numbers that I see. 5 things that are going to catch people off guard, and I would rather you hear them from me rather than find out on your statement. Gotcha number 1, how your onboard folio credit is handled. Onboard credit that Carnival gives you, promotional OBC or onboard credit like shareholder credit, is not your money that you spend and does not count towards earning. You earn only what you spend. If $100 of your bar tab gets covered by any promotional credit, that $100 does not earn points or stars. Gotcha number 2, fare splitting. And I need to correct something that you may have heard elsewhere, including from me. Your cruise fare gets split among every guest in the cabin. If there are 2 people in the cabin, they each earn half. If an adult in your cabin is not enrolled in Carnival Rewards, their split is forfeit, gone, because it does not get redistributed to the people who are enrolled. Poof, it just evaporates. So if you have 180 days from your sailing to enroll and claim it, after that, it's gone for good. So if you are the one who books, make sure that every adult in your cabin is signed up before you sail. Okay, the good news for those of you who are paying for minors. Any minors staying in the cabin, these stars and points that would normally go to a minor actually go to the responsible adult. Now, Carnival has not said if there are 2 adults and 1 kid, how that split works. But I'm gonna guess that it will be split half and half the same way it would be if there are no kids in the cabin. Gotcha number 3, taxes and port fees are excluded. That chunk of your booking total is invisible to the Carnival Rewards program. Carnival gratuities count, taxes and port fees do not. And that distinction is probably going to trip up a few people who are doing that napkin math. Gotcha number 4. You have to actually finish your cruise. Stars and points post on completion of your sailing, not on payment. You book it, you pay for it, and if for whatever reason you don't take your sail, that'll be a problem. There's also a transition rule that's worth knowing about. Any cruises that you paid for before the switch but you take after September, well, you actually do earn the stars and points upon cruise completion. And that is great news because I had worried about that and it actually kept me from booking more future cruises after September. And gotcha number 5, the one I promise you about. Inactivity will expire you. Your points will expire after 3 years of 0 activity. 3 years, and notice I said points, not stars, because your stars are on the 2-year window. They reset every 2 years no matter what you do. Points are different. If life happens, if you take a break from cruising, or you go through a stretch where a cruise isn't in your budget, any points that you had in your balance will evaporate. There's only one way out of it, and it's using the same credit card that I've been talking about. Carnival Rewards points never expire for Mastercard members, ever. Now, if you have had VIFP status before September 1st, there was a deadline to opt in to protect your status. Now, I made an entire video about that. And if the deadline has not passed when you are watching this video, stop and go do this. CarnivalRewards.com. So here is where I land. And this is the part that I said would be controversial and a little bit unhinged. I don't hate it. I know I just told you that Diamond cost $33,000. And I just told you that an enrolled adult in your cabin costs you their whole share. There are a lot of status perks that are getting removed or reduced. And I'd be lying if I said that I was not disappointed about that, because I totally am. But here's the thing. The old program was never a loyalty program. It rewarded time. And time is really a function of money and freedom for those who could afford to take cruises. It just hid that number behind something that felt more noble. Now, this new program is honest about what it is. This is a rewards program that instead of loyalty, and it makes sense. Delta does not give you status for how many hours you spend on a plane. And Costco does not give gifts because I've shopped there for 100 days. Now, here's the thing. Everything I just told you is the pre-launch information. On September 1st, the real thing goes live, and I'm gonna log into my account and I'm gonna show you exactly what changed versus what was promised, because I will be on a cruise ship September 1st. So smash that subscribe button because that video will drop the first week of September, and I guarantee the live version won't match the brochure perfectly. But if it does, we'll find out together. And if you haven't locked in your old VIFP status yet, my full rewards enrollment video walks you through everything that you need to know and do before August 31st, step by step, deadline and everything. It's right here. Now, I'm Ruben. God bless you. So stay random my sandwiches and watch that video next.